All right. This is gonna be quick. This is not gonna be too long. It's probably like 15, 20 minutes. All right. So I'm gonna give you my like business, I guess, astrological um understanding about Aquarius. So I'm gonna give you the negative, and then I'm gonna help you extract a lesson from it in a positive manner, right? So what's the title of this shit? Um, but so Aquarius rules network, friends, and your personal gain through your career. Let's keep it simple, right? We're not gonna make it deep. So when you have Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Moon, Aquarius Rising, and that you could even say Aquarius North Node, because I know my I know my Uranus is in Aquarius. So that means even though my Saturn is in Pisces, it still gives me the competitive advantage to have to deal with technology. Um, so what I tell people, especially with Aquarius energy, you need to be on Facebook, you need to be on YouTube promoting something. And now that we're going through this great conjunction where things are going to be at where I think it's Saturn in 0 degrees Aquarius, whichever the one Jupiter, whichever the one. I have to get more detailed about that. Um, and my business partner is telling me about you have to set up the next 10 years, because I know Saturn is a 10-year energy, um, or you could say a 20-year energy as well. Um, so what I tell Aquarius is that, like, for like I just posted, how can you be? Because the difference between, like, for instance, an Aquarius um and a Leo is that the Leo's trying to be the boss. Not They ain't really trying to lead you nowhere. Well, let me not say not. They trying to lead you. They trying to be the boss. You feel what I'm saying? Yes. Leos can make leaders, but they tend to be bossy. And I say that because I'm a Leo rising. You feel what I'm saying? I'm bossy. I'm not. I'm a leader, but I'm learning. I'm learning that I'm more bossy than I am a leader. Um, and because leadership is a skill, in my opinion, it's something that has to be developed. Um, Aquariuses, I would say, have more uh natural leadership abilities because they're about innovative um mentalism and trailblazing. So I said to this Aquarius rising that how can you form a tribe if you're not a leader? Like, a tribe has the letter I in it. So somebody has to, out of a, what is it, a 5-letter word? Yeah, it's a 5-letter word. So when you're forming a tribe, when you're forming a tribe, um, and you're not the centerpiece, like, it doesn't make sense. Or you're not the person who's leading, like, in the sense of saying they depend on you because the tribe, everybody in the tribe has to have a job. Everybody in the tribe has to pull their weight. And when you're in a tribe and you're forming a tribe and you're the only one uh doing for others, you're not you're not forming a tribe full of people. You're just being used. And I keep telling Aquarius that, especially when they're when they're building, like, other people's platforms, or they're doing stuff for others, I'm like, yo, you doing all this shit for other people, and who's doing for you? So what Aquarius is, I tell them to build their own shit up first, because oh wow, okay. Um, okay, definitely was too late, I guess. But anyway, um, what I would say is that if I was forming a tribe, and like for instance, I formed a tribe, right? And I put my manifestation group, right? My manifestation guy, and there's 37 people in there right now, right? But as the leader, I have to set the stage. So I have to be the person that is doing the work, that's doing the chanting, that's doing the rituals, that's doing the manifestation. So when I show them that this works, they believe me. Because an Aquarius gave me the greatest advice when it came to influence. And I was lying to my parents at the time. She said, if you believe it, they'll believe it. And that's the greatest advice I've ever heard um, when it comes to influencing people, because that's a fact. That's no lie. That's a fact, right? So why if you're setting stage for people, and I say that on purpose because Aquarius is the what the hell is this called? The actor of the zodiac. So when you are setting the stage for people, right? How are you gonna do that if you're not on stage? If you're in the seats? So I tell Aquarius is like yo, you need to be playing ball. You need to be the you need to be the what do you call that? The main character. At least be the antagonist, god damn it. Um but if you're the person who is the what they call that? They're the what they call that? The extras in your movie. If you're the extras in your movie, why the fuck do you expect to get paid like a main character? You know? So a lot of especially when an Aquarius has low self-esteem, they're often playing the extra in their movie instead of the main character. Um and I try to tell them like you don't have to be demanding like a Leo where you want to be the superstar all the time, but you gotta learn when to be the main character and all the other roles if necessary. But when it's time to grow your own business, you gotta learn to um, build your own shit and not be and because like an Aquarius loses a lot when they're afraid to build their own shit and they come up with every excuse in the world to look the part. And I be telling them like that's not important right now. You can't even afford that right now. And they're kind of like I heard before, and I actually really agree, where they say Aquarius is the cosmic twin to Taurus, where if you look at them both, they both are always trying to look the part. The difference is that the Aquarius will play the full on motherfucking role. They will not break. The Taurus will go as far as their money stretches. So, but the Aquarius, I don't give a fuck if they broke is a joke. You will never know that though. You'll never know if an Aquarius is broke. Similar with the Taurus, but you know, eventually if you have enough conversation with them, they'll tell you they don't got no money. Um, in Aquarius, unless man, obviously you need to say my ex-best friend, right? She used to tell me when I was homeless, and this is how fucked up they can be. We were friends for about a year, and I never knew she was homeless all year. And that kind of fucked me up a little bit. I was like, yo, do you know what I would have did for you if, because I was working, I would have probably got us an apartment or something. I would have saved my money, something. Because if we were best friends at the time, I'm like, yo, you tripping. We could have got an apartment together. I'd have saved my money, and I'd have figured it out. Um, and if she would have got her a job or whatever the case may be, um, we'd have been good. You feel me? So, but Aquarius is so much being an actor. Um, we put up, yeah, correct, and that's exactly what she did. And because I'm a Taurus, right? I'm an Aries Taurus cusp, right? So eventually you'll know when I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? You'll know when I don't got no money. And and because I'm an Aries cusp, I'm not afraid to say that. Because I know money does not define me. Money just affects me. So with the Aquarius, I would say money defines them. I ain't gonna hold you. And I say that from a low vibrational standpoint because, like, they be like, that's crazy. Like, I could not. It's not that you won't know, but the people closest to me knew. The people I spoke to on a regular knew. You know? But with her, I was the person on the phone with her daily, or I was on the phone with her often enough, and I never knew she was homeless. And she used to tell me, we was in college, and she was like, so you didn't pick up the signs when I was wearing the same clothes every day? I didn't, and because I was sheltered and I was at home, I never thought anything of it. And because she met me when I was really naive. Now, because I've been homeless twice, I can pick it up now. But because I never really left the comfort of my parents, I couldn't really tell. I did ask, like, why are you wearing the same clothes every day? Didn't you wear that yesterday? Like, I think I know I said it once. I said, didn't you wear that yesterday? And, you know, she made some shit up. But that's an Aquarius for you. But that's their problem on the holistic front, because they put on a front. And if that's not really the thing that's making you bread, that can be a problem. Or when especially an Aquarius who's starting entrepreneurship, one of the greatest things you should not do, to some extent, or know your limits when you're doing it, is putting up a front. Because it can hinder you, because you losing out on money because you putting out on front, instead of being like a Leo and being like, it is what it is, but I'm gonna get this shit done anyway, you know? But the difference is, like, not being in your feelings up like a Leo and having too much pride. So, and that's kind of like the difference, even though Aquarius can be prideful, but I don't think like a Leo, though. Aquarius can be, I would say, more stubborn than prideful. Because an Aquarius can lack pride, they know when to ask for help and say, yo, can you do this or can you do that? Because when she got comfortable with me, she didn't have no problem asking me for help. So, now to some extent, that made her handicapped to me, or that handicapped her. But I said, yo, if you weren't putting on such a front, me and her could have did wonders together. It's just that she was putting on her front like something was better than it was. And that's partially why our friendship ended, because she was putting on her front. And then I was like, because my moon's in Capricorn, I'm like, bruh, how you trying to play me? Like, I dead ass be squinting my eyes and be like, who the fuck you trying to play, my nigga? Like, we from the same planet. How, bitch? So, like, and because I kind of see through Aquariuses, but for me, the only reason why I don't pinpoint everything about Aquarius, I don't have the patience for that. So, because I be having my own shit to do, I just be like, you do you, and I do me. You feel me? Don't do no wild shit, and I won't have to cut your cord off. But my only problem is that when you do cut them off and they give a fuck about you, they be psychic as fuck, trying to psychic attack you and all that bullshit. So, like for instance, the other day, she was trying to psychically contact me, and I kept getting the psychic intuitive knowing to call her, and I was like, bitch, you got me fucked up. And I pulled the cards, and it was telling me a lot about her. I was like, you got me fucked up. First of all, we not doing that. And because I have, again, my risings in Leo, and I have willpower, I have the willpower to be like, we not doing that, right? So, what Aquarius can do is predict the future, and a lot of them, and that's why I tell them, stop trying to put up a front. If you know you ahead of your time, stop trying to play stupid. Now what they do teach me, there is a time and a place for that. But, God damn, I need to be better at that. But if you know you're ahead of your time, and that's why they fuck with Aries, because we be ahead of our time too, but we just be doing it. We don't be fucking thinking about it and fucking thinking about Jesus coming out the motherfucking sky and shit. And we're not waiting on other people to help us with our vision. We don't care. And I often tell Aquarius that a lot. Like, why do you care so much about them? Like they be wanting to be part of a community so fucking bad. That should be making me mad as fuck. I ain't gonna hold you. And what I tell them in business is that you don't need the tribe as much as you think. Because if you're not the person blazing the trail, they won't respect you. And Aquarius thrives off respect. So it's like, bruh, like for instance, the last Aquarius, and it was funny, is that I think 2 days ago, it was yesterday, a status came up that I reposted, that I posted about her a couple years ago. And she be trying to play me like I'm stupid. She tried to play me like I'm stupid a couple years ago, where I'm like, I'm a Leo rising, you feel me? So I'm like, cool. I'm the type to quit my job and be like, yo, fuck this bullshit. Oh God, fuck this bullshit and do my own shit. You feel me? And I'm like, what's funny is that, it's so wild. I really do have the energy of Elegba or Eshu. Because as I was looking up, I really am a gatekeeper. That's not even no funny shit. And I don't like to, I'm going to do my best not to say that anymore, because I don't want to sound like I'm bragging. And I usually don't even say that, because that's a powerful position, you feel me? So when I come into your life, I come as a messenger and a gatekeeper. So when I come into your life, and I realized that I was a gatekeeper in her life, right? And I was like, I can help you quit your job doing this social media shit, but you got to stop playing small. Because the difference between her and I is that she didn't have a problem charging $5,000 for something. She was a salesman for AT&T. So I didn't have a problem. She didn't have a problem selling. She didn't have a problem selling something for $2,500. You feel me? So she taught me to raise my prices. Right? She was the first coach that pushed me to raise my prices. So I had to get to this place where she came back a couple years later, and that was funny. Is I was in Atlanta now, and I spoke to her. And I was in the mall with a friend of mine at the time, and this was actually last year. So last year around this time, and I was like, yo, Sunshine. So she was talking to me about her business. Oh, and she, this Aquarius shit. She was doing this Aquarius dumb shit. Like, we launching our business, and it's doing great things, and try to like gas it the fuck up, and and like make it sound like what it is. And I asked her a core question, because I'm a real straight shooter. So I was like, okay, so did you quit your job? You full time? And she said no. So I said, oh, so you still have a job? And I don't look down on that, but like if you haven't quit your business, like, and I say that because psychologically, And I'll give you this from a business perspective. Psychologically, you're in a different place as an entrepreneur when you have a job. When you have a job, you have a backup plan. So in that, and that's why you gotta like take your business as seriously as possible. So and try to do your best to make as much money as you can to cover your bills with your entrepreneurship, because the longer you have your job in entrepreneurship, the more you have a backup plan. The more you feel comfortable with a backup plan. So because Aquarius is logical, she's not gonna just up and quit her job because she has a family and kids and whoop 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 whoop. So and if I think about it, that she probably didn't even have the money to still invest in like a real coach who can help her build her brand online. And I could have helped her with that too, but that's no here, no there. So I was telling her like, yo, and she was giving me all this hype up shit, and I told her my prices about what I could do for Instagram, and I was like, and it was crazy that we worked together before, and she's gotten clients before with me, working with me. So I was like, so what's up? Why you not pulling the trigger? I don't understand. And and this is some Aquarius shit. She was trying to make it sound so sexy to make me work for free. And like, I was like, no, we're not doing that. Because if I was at my parents' house, maybe I could fuck with you. But like, she was making it sound so like bigger than what it was. You feel what I'm saying? And not on some Leo shit, like they're hyping up their ego. Because usually when a Leo's hyping some shit up, they talk about themselves. When an Aquarius is talking about, and she taught me this directly, she said, when you're talking to a business, it's better to say we than me. Now, I have a problem with that because my Leo's in rising. So I'm definitely not going to be talking about we. I'm going to be talking about me. So, but I've learned in certain situations that closes the deal faster. So when she was talking about we, I was like, okay, so in that this is how you like kind of like deflectively destroy Aquarius. You ask them about themselves. So what are you doing? And if they start stuttering about what they doing, they ain't shit. Because if they're always talking about the team, I mean that sound good, but what the fuck does that mean? Because like when you start talking to them about like when you start becoming very logical, because when they're putting on a front, they're not really logical, they're theoretical. And that's a huge key when an Aquarius is failing in business. They're very theoretical, and I didn't say philosophical, theoretical. So it's like, if you join with us, and she was trying to say if you qualify and all this bullshit, and I was like, and I kindly blocked her. I kindly blocked her from emailing me, all of that. Unsubscribe from my email, because I was like, you tried to play me. Like how you come back around in my life and you ain't trying to pay no money. And that could possibly mean she don't got no money, but that's none of my business. You feel what I'm saying? And I could reach out to her, but I don't give a fuck like that. My moon in Cap, so I don't give a fuck. So for me, what I tell them is that do not try to play the people who can put you on, because you end up fucking yourself. Because the law of polarity states that there's an opposite for everything there's a polarity. There's a polarity to everything. So if you try to play somebody who's really good to you, you attract somebody who's bad to you. And I've seen that with Aquarius over and over and over again. It's not even cute. When they try to play me, they literally attract the opposite of me. And I wish it was funny. I wish, and what my problem is, I be playing Captain Save-A-Hole, and I be trying to look out for them and shit again after they play themselves. But I stopped doing that shit though. So that's why I pre-warn Aquarius, Sun, Moons, or Risings, don't try to play me. Because of the energy I possess, if you try to play me, the way this shit is set up, everything that I touch when it comes to helping you will shut down. It'll stop working. There is not an Aquarius who try to play me who's in a better position after. I wish I could brag on that. I could get on Zoom and show you. Like I looked at the last Aquarius client that I had. Well, no Aquarius client that I had a couple years ago. And he was a barber. And he was a barber. But let me tell you something. Tell me why this nigga, like I help people grow their Instagram accounts, right? And I was homeless when he met me, and he know I'm a good dude. So he was like, "Yo, why are you homeless?" He said, "Yo, you not in the streets. You not gang banging. You not trying to fuck nobody. You don't even got a girlfriend, my nigga. Like, you come in my barbershop and you stay in the corner on your phone." So, and he was just observant like that. He was like, "Yo, he used to say, yo, you sit in that chair like you the ops. Like you weird. You feel me?" But he respected it because he knew I was building my brand. He knew I didn't care about nothing else. So, when I tell them, correct, it's not even funny. It be fucked up too because they have that Saturn energy, so it be fucked up, and I be like, damn, bruh. I just be shaking my head at them, and then I do my best not to play Captain Save-A-Ho, because when they realize they fucked up, they come back around and say, "Nah, you got me fucked up." And then on top of that, this Aquarius client who tried to play me when I was not homeless anymore, and I was in a space, I was in a place not even 10 minutes from here driving. No, 10 minutes from here driving, maybe less. And I was like, "Yo, I help you build your Instagram for free," because he was the big homie. He looked out for me. You feel what I'm saying? He paid me and all that type of shit. Not paid me what I was worth, but he paid me. So I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna look out for you." Whoopity whoop whoop whoop, right? And tell me why a couple months later he changed his password out of nowhere, because for me to run your Instagram from the background, I don't need to speak to you. Because I said I'm not gonna post for you. I'm gonna run your numbers up. I'm gonna get you more followers, but I'm not posting for you. So there's no need for us to talk every day or whatever. And he changed his password, and then when I called him, say, "Hey, you changed your password?" He said, "Yeah, because we weren't talking." I said, "Oh, okay." He said, "I gotta go. I'm in this barber class." I'm like, where did he do that at? For a couple months later, and then a couple months later, when I checked back a couple days ago, nah, they need to learn from their mistakes. If not, they'll continue to play. That's a fact. So when a couple months later, when I'm looking at his Instagram again because he came up across my mind, and I'm like, "Nigga, you still doing the same dumb shit, reposting other people's shit and all this bullshit?" And I was like, bruh, you still doing that same dumb shit? Like, and I'm like, and I always ask Aquarius, okay, so you putting others on, so how that making you money? I don't understand. How you putting the tribe before yourself? Where they do that at? And nobody. It's like when Young and May said, and that's what they can be, sheep. That ass. They'll fuck with the sheep all goddamn day, right? So I'm a lion. So I come out and I say, okay, so what's up? What's good? Right? So when you dealing with an Aquarius, you gotta in business period, you gotta deal with, you gotta make sure that you're integral, you are who you say you are, you put in the work. And what's crazy, sometimes I don't have a problem with an Aquarius who has a serious maniacal focus, but what I tell them is, like, you gotta make sure you not going. Here'd be the fucked up shit that they be doing in business. They be going big, like going after the big goal to make it look good. That's the difference between them and a Taurus. A Taurus would never do that. Well, no, together, I'm lying. A Taurus will do that as far as their money will stretch. But an Aquarius, oh fuck that. They rob the fucking bank to make it look like they somebody. And I'm like, bitch, if you don't get your dumb ass together, like who is you, my nigga? You just yesterday you was telling me about eating oodles and noodles, and you trying, boy, if you don't get your dumb ass out of here. But I be trying to tell them like, yo, you don't gotta like make it seem like you know a whole bunch of people and you this, that, and the third. Like, I'm gonna need you to fuck with the people who really gonna help you do some shit. Like, for instance, I was thinking when I was in the shower, and I was like, yo, he changed his password on the only person in his circle who told him to promote himself. And I'm like, bruh, when people, because he was a decent Aquarius, so he commanded a room. So if he made it, like, he was the type of Aquarius where, if he said he wanted to create an event, he would bring the people, right? Especially on certain events, right? So, and if he were to build his platform, it would be worse. So I try to tell him, like, you may not be like the Leo where you demand attention, but you can call up people to an event. So that's why Just Hilarious is so good at social media, because Aquarius rules social media, but also on the fact that she put herself in position where people can show up to a stage, an event, a network, aka Aquarius. So it's up her alley. Her partner is an Aquarius. I forgot what his name is. I forgot. It starts with a D. But the black guy with the beard, the bald black guy with the beard, who be mad funny sometimes. He's an Aquarius. So, and they may have different moons or rising. That's why they work so well together. So, so yeah. So I would say, if you're gonna have a crowd, at least be entertaining. If you're gonna, if like, and you like sometimes. What I tell them in business is you got to make sure your tribe is not your audience. Because, ooh, that's so deep. Jesus Christ. You got to make sure your tribe is not your audience. Because if your tribe ain't doing shit, all they're doing is watching you. And that doesn't mean that they're watching you to be great. Because of human nature, I'm going to say 90%. That's too large. Let's say 60%. 60% of the time, they're watching for you to fall. And not do shit for you. You feel what I'm saying? So, because I'm a Leo, it rising to the world, niggas don't give a fuck about none of that. They be like, I'd be like, you know, and on top of that, you telling your next move to, or you telling your move to your quote unquote tribe, and they ain't shit. And next thing you know, they copy you, they do their own shit. You know, humans, they be weird. So, you know, so, you know, like I said, it's if you gonna build a tribe, make sure everybody, just like Kevin Gates, an Aquarius said, he said, I only roll with my my wife and my babies. He said everybody around me got something to do. And that's how you gotta move. You can't, as an Aquarius, if your crowd is too big, you rolling with an audience. You not, and you gotta pay for that. Remember that everybody that you roll with, you gotta pay for. So one way or another. So I just advise them to, like, if they're not a tribe, um if you want a tribe, learn how to attract one, and then qualify them. Like Aquarius, like an Aquarius moon that I love is Ty Lopez. So he's very much into scientific qualification. So he's about getting you into like different personality tests to know who you are, what your weaknesses are, what you're good at, etc., etc. And he even came up with his own qualification service called PASE, practical actions, social and emotional. You feel me? So because he wants to know who's for him and who's not for him, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, etc., etc. I'm just like him. I'm an ape, so I'm action, practical, social, and then emotional. So, like I said, it's when it comes to them, you blaze the trail like an Aries. It's just that you gotta not need the validation of other people, and I think that's they said one time on YouTube, Aquarius's uh, uh, obsession is uh, other people's how other people think about them, and that's why Oprah to some extent um cares a lot about what other people think, even as rich as she may be. Um, and I think to some extent, for instance, with Monique, right? One of the reasons why she won't apologize to Monique is because of how it will make her look. And because when they raise to a certain amount of status, they feel like they don't have to apologize to nobody. They are who they are. So, and I've had that done to me by my ex-best friend. I helped her get a job, and she finally became somewhat stable in her life. But the cards tell me different. But anywho, and she ditched me because I was homeless. And I said, "You were homeless for a year, and I never knew. You ain't see me, did you?" Right? But because the way my energy set up, it set me up to be um it set me up to be housed for a year and 11 months. And then when that person did me wrong, because her Chiron's in Aquarius, she's going to go through the same thing. She's not going to grow any larger. So it is what it is. But what I tell Aquarius is to be more detached, attract your tribe, be diligent on your craft, know your value, know your worth. Try to be as mental as possible in business. What an Aquarius moon is teaching me right now is be more contractual. And I got to be better at that. Try to not do business for the look of shit. Business is not for the look, especially if you ain't got no fucking money. Fuck. Um, Blaze the trail and stop being a pussy. In many regards, they be pussy as hell. And fuck what people think, yo. Because at the end of the motherfucking day, you, as on some Capricorn moon shit, what bill can you pay with that? Now, and last but not least, I would say in business with Aquarius, learn the difference between feedback and what's the other one? Oh my god, feedback and damn, what's the word I'm looking for? Feedback. Okay, I'll just use that. Learn the difference between feedback and other people's opinion. Because feedback, for the most part, is constructive. You can use that. You feel me? But other people's opinion is what it is. Other people's opinion. Because feedback can fuck your business up. Because if you get too much negative feedback, that's a problem. But if you don't if you just stuck on other people's opinions, you can't deposit none of that shit to the bank. You heard? You heard? I ain't deposit one of your comments yet in this motherfucker. Shit. But book your session above, and screen if you're on social media, screenshot or send me a DM or send me an email if you when you pay. Peace. You're welcome.